when it comes down to their platform, it is very good. It is user-friendly. We had situations with other banks where clients were abroad. The internet banking would lock them out. Then they would try to call. They couldn't get anything resolved. People didn't speak English. It was just a mess. So then with Banco Santa Cruz, they're very service-oriented. And their service is geared more particularly to expats, foreigners, especially those who don't live in the country and have special needs. Okay? So this is the bank of preference of most of my clients. I'll have you know, my clients turned me on to them. They turned our firm on to them because they were getting such great results. And so we started to get familiar with them. We came to know their products, their policies, and sure enough, they're the bank of choice for us now. So without further ado, we're going to invite Ivette Nin to take the podium. She has a PowerPoint, and ask away. Okay, they're going to be with us here today and tomorrow as well. So whatever is not addressed here, you can always get them at the exhibition hall, okay? Welcome, Ivette.
Thank you, Maria.
Ven, querida. Oh, and Nicole, I'm sorry.
Gracias. ¿Con esto te pasan la presentación? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Ivette Nin. I am the Deputy Manager of Banco Santa Cruz. Banco Santa Cruz is an entity that began her operation in November 1, 1999. We are in the top 5 of the bank in the country, and we are a young bank with very competitive and with organic growth. Our business proposal has always stuck out and offering high-quality financial style based on the principles of personalized service with an agile, transparent, and secure response to the clients. We put our client at the center of everything that we do. Our relationship with them goes beyond the commercial. We are the partner. We are your advice, your allies and friends. We offer a financial platform of companies and easy. Our clients have to security that always having access to their bank 24 hours, 7 days of the week. Through different financial platforms, they are perfectly adjusted to the specific needs of each one of them. We keep our promise. We are committed to ensure that each customer who visits us a superior, reliable, and above all, responsible banking experience. We are the only bank that makes transactions in multiple foreign currencies, specifically in US dollar, euro, Swiss francs, pound sterling, and Canadian dollar. We currently maintaining significant leadership in the international trade line of business with a global perspective and participation in the transactional and financial flow generated by the important economic activity. We have agile financing mechanisms for international operation through of our network of correspondent banks and promotion that development institutional.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Nicole. I'm personal business advisor at Banco Santa Cruz with Ivette. I'm going to talk to you about our products, the ones that could be for more of your interest. We offer a very variety of products but these are the ones that we brought, the ones that are of your most interest. Okay. We offer savings accounts in 3 currencies. We have American dollars, euros, and Dominican pesos. We offer an annual interest payment. It can be credited monthly to your account with a competitive rate. It's very easy to make international payments via checks or transfer. We offer unlimited number of withdrawals. Your inquiries and transactions can be canalized through Teleenlace, which is our telephone service available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We also have an internet banking platform, which is called Bancanet, and it's also available for you 7 days a week, 24/7. If you want to start to make investments here in the Dominican Republic before the mortgage loan, we also offer certificates of deposit, so you can start making business with the bank and start building a relationship, a business relationship with us. We offer a certificates of deposit, which can be made in US dollars and Dominican pesos. They constitute an investment modality in US dollars and Dominican pesos at fixed terms with attractive interest rates established according to the investment ranges and can be acquired in the name of one or more persons. We offer a competitive rate. Right now it's a very interesting and important time if you want to invest in certificates of deposits, because our rates are starting to rise and we offer better rates than the past quarter. So it's a very important time to make investments in certificates of deposit. Our terms that we offer goes from 30 days onwards. The interest is paid if we offer 2 options. If you want it to be credited to your account, it can be possible. If you want to reinvest the interest in the certificate of deposit, it's also an option for you. We offer cancellation without penalty on the due dates, and if you have any inquiry, you of course can check your Bancanet, call Teleenlace. As we said, we offer a very personalized service. You can always contact your account manager. If you go to Blue Mall, we'll be very glad to assist you. Ivette and me will be there. And last but not least, because I know you're really interested, mortgage loans. We saved the best for the last, of course. We offer for our Dominican residents up to 90% of finances if the property is brand new. We offer a quick approval after a complete delivery of the required documents, 0 penalty for additional principal payments, and we also offer the option that if you want to make an additional principal payment, you can choose whether you want to reduce the installment or the time of the loan. We also offer the lowest legal expenses in the market, and the insurance finances is interest-free. The insurance, of course. So you're probably wondering what are the primary documents you need to provide to the bank in order for us to approve the credit. So these are the documents we require. As our last is income tax report, passport photocopy, social security photocopy, international credit bureau authorization form, payment of the international bureau report, a job reference letter or contract, your last 3 bank statements, or last 6 if you're self-employed. And if you're looking to retire in the future, obviously you need to, this is why we're here, right? So you need to provide a document or evidence that you're making this process. If we have any Dominican here living abroad? No? Okay, but if you are a friend, you want to refer a friend or anything, if they're Dominican and they want also to apply, they need to bring all the documents plus their cédula or Dominican identity. That's all we have for today, as for right now. But if you have any questions, we'll be pleased then answer them. Thank you.
Okay, folks. Oh, don't clap yet. It's not over. Who has questions? You first.
How is the process different if you, let's say, are a resident, a Dominican resident, versus if you're just a U.S. resident? What is the benefit of being a resident? I guess that's the question.
¿Entendieron la pregunta? ¿Cuál es la diferencia? Si un extranjero sin estatus y un residente hacen una solicitud para una hipoteca, un préstamo.
You say the Dominican person.
O sea, ¿cuál sería la diferencia entre que solicitar a un dominicano préstamo versus un residente versus una persona que no tenga estatus?
The difference is because the Dominican live here and have the document, and we can verify through the document more easy than the foreign, because the foreign live there and it's a little risk to make the
assessment. In other words, it's harder to assess a foreigner who lives abroad. Do you guys use the foreign, what is it, the credit scoring from foreign agencies like Experian? TransUnion?
Yes.
That's what you base it on.
Exactly.
Ahora, si la persona tiene residencia versus uno que no tiene, extranjero, what I'm asking her is, what would be the difference in the process if a foreigner has residency versus someone who has no status in the country? ¿Se le dificulta?
No, te lo voy a responder en español para que sea como un poquito más.
Sí, vamos, no hay problema.
Bien. Le das más beneficio cuando las personas tienen ya un aval aquí en Santo Domingo o República Dominicana, porque ya le da un compromiso más formal de que ellas están más afiliados al país, y eso hace de mayor fiabilidad de hacer la transacción. Siempre los extranjeros, cuando nosotros los enviamos los créditos, nos preguntan qué tipo de relación tienen aquí en el país para hacer la transacción más viable.
Bien. So what Ivette is explaining is that it is easier to obtain a mortgage for a person with residency because they have ties to the country, meaning they have legal status. So it is easier to see, how they're tied to the country, whereas if you're a foreigner, they would have to base it on the documents provided and on the credit reporting from the credit reporting agencies, say like in the States, like TransUnion, Experian, so on and so forth. So the process is a little bit easier if you do have status in the country, but it is not a requirement.
Exacto.
¿Y hay alguna diferencia en el proceso para uno que tiene residencia versus uno que no? What I'm asking her is there a difference in the process for a person with residency versus someone who does not? Like, are there extra steps if you don't have status in the country?
Cada caso regularmente se maneja un poquito diferente dependiendo de la persona, pero la diferencia cuando es extranjero full, como nosotros le decimos, que no tiene ningún aval directamente con el país, es el valor de la garantía. El valor, nosotros le habíamos dicho aquí que en el 80% de lo que va a financiar o el 90%, pero cuando hay no hay una vinculación tan directa con el país, por lo regular uno financia el 60 o el 70% de la inversión para que el factor riesgo esté un poquito más manejable.
Okay, so the difference would be in the amount that they would finance. So if you have residency in the country, they can finance up to 80 or 90%. Whereas if you have no status in the country, then they're only willing to do 60 or 70% of the financing when you don't have status, okay?
El señor tiene una pregunta.
My question is, what if you don't have residency, but you've been living in the country for, let's say, 4 or 5 years? You have property here, kids here, the whole 9 yards. Does that change anything? Or would you still be treated as if you were a foreigner living abroad?
Pregunta si la persona no tiene estatus legal, pero lleva años residiendo en el país, tiene propiedad, es una persona que tiene cuenta bancaria, ¿sería esa persona tratada como un extranjero sin vinculación al país?
No, porque ya él acaba de decir que tiene sus cuentas, tiene sus viviendas, o sea, ya hay un arraigo que da a demostrar de que el cliente, independientemente de que no tenga su ciudadanía o su residencia, pues ya tiene un vínculo de aquí en el país.
So you would be treated as a person who has roots in the country. You would not be treated as a foreigner without status because you do have property here, you've been living here, you have bank accounts here, so it is easy to establish ties to the country. I think what they're referring to is folks that don't have status, have not lived here, and they're just, getting started in the country, but they want to finance, okay? Bien.
What are the interest rates now?
La tasa de interés para los préstamos.
Si es en dólares, un 7%, si es en pesos, oscila entre el 9 al 13. Va a depender en relación a la fijación de la tasa.
Okay, well, it depends. But if it's in US dollars, then it's 7%. If it's in pesos, it oscillates between 9 and 13%. So there is a difference based on the currency.
How you doing? My name is Marvin. How do you establish credit in the country of Dominican Republic? What's the easiest way to establish credit here?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? I was distracted for a second.
What is the easiest way to establish credit in the Dominican Republic?
¿Cuál es la forma más fácil de establecer crédito en la República Dominicana? Y tenemos otro participante que se registró, pero él está en el otro lado del mundo y no pudo venir. Y esa es la pregunta que mando a hacer también. ¿Cuál es la mejor forma?
Para iniciar el crédito, lo primero es tener la vinculación con el banco, o sea, conocer bien al cliente, uno hacer su vinculación con el producto, inicial puede ser su cuenta de ahorro y uno ver ya los movimientos. Para hacer lo que es el crédito, para que ya como extranjero como tal, la vinculación no le va a salir en el reporte de nosotros porque son internacional con pasaporte. Ahora, si son de esos extranjeros que ya tienen una cédula y se le puede vincular con el TransUnion, hay que hacer un certificado de depósito para una tarjeta de crédito o para un préstamo para que ya empiece a aparecerle en el reporte.
Okay, so what she's saying is you'd have to set up a bank account because your bank movements determine your finances. That's how you start creating. You start creating a history of movements of money, okay? If you have residency, it's easier. Because, for instance, if you have a loan or you could have a secured credit card she talked about, you can, keep a good history with that secured credit card. And she didn't mention it, but within 6 months, they would take the secure status off and it becomes an actual credit card. So it pretty much follows the same steps as the states. You have to start with a bank account. You have to start, with secure credit card. And, create a history that they could now base themselves on in order to say whether you have good or bad credit to rate you.
Maria.
Oh, I'm sorry. I keep missing him. I'm not. I'm so sorry.
My question is very similar to Mr. Teller. What if you have a foreigner doesn't have a residency, but we own real estate here and would like to use our property as collateral, let's say for example, a rehab project of that nature?
Está hablando de que está haciendo la pregunta que si una persona que no tiene estatus en el país, pero quiere utilizar, vamos a decir, el título de su propiedad como un aval, o sea, como si fuera garante, pero la persona no tiene estatus, facilitaría conseguir un préstamo.
Claro que sí. Nosotros no le decimos que no a los negocios. Siempre uno arma el expediente, verificar obviamente, aunque haya una garantía, se evalúa el perfil del cliente como tal, porque aunque tenemos la garantía, el aval nos lo da el historial crediticio del cliente y cómo va el comportamiento, porque independientemente también se hace la verificación del lugar.
Okay, so even if you serve as guarantor toward that client, they still have to do their due diligence, and it's going to be largely based on their credit history. They have to see, you know, the tendency of the person, where payments are concerned, their credit history, what their earning potential is, even though you would serve as a guarantor, okay? And I have to say, brevemente, when you're getting a mortgage loan, the title is the guarantee. There's no risk to the bank because if you don't pay the loan, they keep the property. And yet still, even though there's a good collateral, they still have to do their due diligence. People get denied over, bad credit, history all the time, or if they don't submit the paperwork indicating what their earning is. So you still have to have a person that doesn't represent a risk to the bank, okay? And the reason for this, brevemente, señores, from a legal standpoint, suppose you're a guarantor to a person. They stop paying, they default on payments. But you, as the guarantor, do not, you don't face the responsibility that you have as a guarantor. That's a legal battle. I've had to wage those, okay? So the bank wants to avoid getting into legal battles over guarantors who also default and wait for a judgment to get paid. So they have to evaluate each case individually, okay? Bien? Who else?
So my question is, just compared to some of the other banks here, like how big is it, or like how, the availability of what she said, like the ATM machines and stuff like that. So that's what.
Está hablando de Banco Santa Cruz en comparación con otros bancos. Sabemos que otros bancos tienen como reserva, tienen sucursales en todas partes del país, puede ser una ciudad, puede ser un pueblito, y siempre se pueden encontrar sus cajeros por todas partes. ¿Qué tal del Banco Santa Cruz? ¿Cuán disponible está Santa Cruz en lo que tiene que ver con sucursales, con cajeros en todas partes de la República?
Bueno, ahora mismo estamos abriendo nuevas sucursales en la parte del sur, estamos abriendo en Baní, nos estamos expandiendo, estamos creciendo en relación a las vinculaciones de facilidad. La plataforma de Internet Banking es bien friendly, o sea, hacemos bien las transacciones para fines de hacer las transferencias hacia las cuentas y pago de productos y servicios y demás. Pero nos estamos expandiendo realmente con nuevas oficinas. A nivel del este también tenemos en Punta Cana, Terrena, tenemos en Sosúa. En las zonas turísticas estamos bien asentados.
Okay, so Banco Santa Cruz is, not only are they available in all the major cities and towns, but they're currently in an expansion. Okay, so they are opening branches in smaller towns. They are, first of all, besides setting up ATMs everywhere, their internet banking, which is what I prefer about them, is, second to none. You could do anything from that internet banking here, internationally, however. So it kind of compensates for the fact that they're not everywhere right now, but they are expanding. Oh, yeah, they're all over the place. Yeah. I could have answered that for you. Who had the next question? Yo se lo dije, señores. You got a microphone making me walk over here. Who's next?
Aquí,
My question is two parts. First part is, how do we go about getting an account? How easy is it? How much you have to put into this account? Can you do it while you are still considered a foreigner? And my second part of the question is more about the appraisal process of properties. Do y'all have your own appraisals experts to come out to do that? Or is it an independent company that does that separately from you guys?
Entonces la pregunta es, ¿con cuánta facilidad se puede aperturar una cuenta en Santa Cruz? Yo puedo responder a esa pregunta, pero las dejaré a ustedes. ¿Con cuánto es el mínimo que van a requerir para aperturar una cuenta? Y en cuanto a la tasación de las propiedades, ¿tienen ustedes tasadores directos del banco o son tasadores independientes?
Respondiendo a su pregunta inicial, las cuentas en pesos se abren con 3,000 pesos, que es el mínimo que debe de mantener. Las cuentas en dólares o euros se abren con 500, que es el mínimo también que debe de mantener. Con relación a la facilidad de los documentos que requieren, cada cliente va a tener su especificación, pero básicamente uno lo que necesita saber es los estados de cuenta bancaria donde recibe sus ingresos, a qué se dedica el cliente, si es independiente, los documentos de la empresa.
¿Sigue?
Para hacer
que aprenda español. Que aprenda.
La vinculación. Básicamente lo que uno tiene que, obviamente, conocer bien el cliente para hacerle la debida diligencia de que cada cliente, quizá uno no le pide un documento, pero dando las conversaciones necesitaríamos otros adicionales. Pero básicamente es los ingresos evidenciados del cliente, su identificación. Si son extranjeros, obviamente, como es el caso, tendríamos que necesitar su Social Security, en algunos casos podemos necesitar el income tax. Y con relación a la segunda pregunta, el cliente, nosotros tenemos tasadores autorizados. Entonces, ya la tasación cuando se solicita es cuando ya hemos hecho una precalificación del cliente para que ya, como incurre un costo adicional del cliente, ya tenga todo amarrado.
Super. All right. You understood all that? Because I don't need to say it. Okay, so, all right. So in order to open a bank, and this is something that you all should know, the minimum to open a peso account is 3,000 pesos, which at the current rate is like what? Is it like what? No. 3,000 pesos is about $60 for the DOP account. Now, for the U.S. dollar account, the minimum is $500. Okay? Now, the paperwork required is going to, obviously, your identity paperwork, your passport, driver's license. For Americans, Social Security card, copy of the Social Security card. They're going to want to see either employment or business documents indicating the source of your income, bank statements, tax returns. So, they're going to, depending on the client that's making the application, they're going to send a list of required documents. And it's very similar to what you saw for the mortgage list. Very similar. Setting up a bank account with them is pretty simple. I mean, we have people send their paperwork virtually. We send it to them, and then within a few days, there's an appointment to sign paperwork and, make a deposit into their new account. So it's pretty simple. This is one of the reasons we prefer Santa Cruz, because setting up a bank account with other banks is like oral surgery without the Novocaine, and I'm not going through that. No. So we're still answering his. I'll be right with you. Now, the appraisers, they have authorized appraisers. So the minute there's a pre-approval, one of their authorized appraisers will come to the property and do the appraisal of it as part of the mortgage process, okay? Here's the question, who was next? She was next? I lost track, folks. I'm sorry. Bear with me.
Is there, when you're bringing money into the country, into your bank account, are there any maximum thresholds which, if you exceed, trigger additional scrutiny, or you need to provide proof of the source
$10,000.
at a time, or monthly, or?
O sea, ¿cuál es el monto? Yo sé la respuesta, yo le estoy tratando de ayudar, señor. ¿Cuál es el monto que si se exceden al traer dinero del país de origen, causa una alerta O sea, ¿cuál es el mínimo sin que haya ningún tipo de inconvenientes, donde tengan que demostrar procedencia, donde tengan que hacer un proceso para liberar los fondos?
En relación a su pregunta, el monto mínimo para hacer la transacción es de $15,000, pero ahora bien, se aumentó hace unos...
Oh, they just brought it up to 15,000. It was 10, but they brought it up to 15.
Pero, hay un pero siempre.
Yes. There's a but, guys. Yes.
En ocasiones, si son transferencias no habituales, díganse que quizás están haciendo un pago de una cuenta que quizás está en nombre de otra persona y están recibiendo un pago que está recibiendo, o sea, el departamento me va a dar la alerta independientemente que el monto sea por debajo de esa cantidad, para dar la claridad de que tendría que evidenciarlo de todas maneras. Mira, fue porque le pagué a tal persona y me está haciendo un pago, o porque, o sea, siempre es bueno evidenciar el monto independientemente. Ya eso me lo va a dar el departamento de cumplimiento a la hora de cuando recibe la transacción. Pero por lo regular a nivel de crédito historial, o sea, perdón, del cumplimiento como tal, es por encima de los 15,000.
Okay, so even though 15,000 is the threshold, if you've never moved that amount of money in your account, like you've had it for a while and you've never moved that amount, they may inquire as to why. So it's good to be prepared to explain the reason for, transacting $15,000 at once. If you do it regularly, they won't question it, but it can't be over 15,000 because at that point they'll. Yes. But let's be careful with structuring. You got to be careful with structuring, because if you're bringing, if there's a minimum, disculpando que yo le estoy...
No, yo le iba a decir eso, que a veces hacen la sumatoria de que dicen, no, dame mandar 9.
No, que ellos dicen, ok, el límite son 15, voy a mandar 15 por día por una semana. Eso también es una situación. That's structuring, and they could still get you for that. And then they'll start, investigating and looking into things, and I could tell you all about stuff with banks. But anyway. Oh. Lamar quiere hacer un comentario.
I want to comment about the banking and how easy it is. Wednesday, I went down in less than an hour. I had everything set up.
Está diciendo que... Pero te lo entendieron. Okay, who's next? Was it you? Okay. There you go. Boy, I'm telling you, I'm getting the workout today.
Thanks for coming out, guys. I got a question. I was trying to link my bank accounts from the U.S. with Santa Cruz, and I was told that you guys don't have the ability to do that as of yet, that you would be doing that, where I could just link the accounts just for me to transfer money, because, I didn't want to have to constantly wire transfer money that way because it was too expensive. So I was wondering, do you guys have that ability yet? Or some people are saying that they can do it. So I'm not even sure what's going on right now. I'm just trying to get some clarity on that.
Está preguntando que si Banco Santa Cruz tiene la opción de vincular o enlazar cuentas del exterior con cuentas de aquí, para que cuando se vaya a transferir dinero, mover dinero, no sea en la forma de una transferencia internacional. Entonces hay personas que dicen que eso está ya eso está en funciones, hay otras que dicen que no se puede. ¿Cuál es la respuesta? Porque él lo que dice es que si se hace una transferencia internacional, puede ser costosa si se hacen varias y es de forma habitual. Entonces hay una forma de crear un enlace para que se hagan transferencias automáticas, no tratándose del proceso de una transferencia internacional. ¿Es posible?
He escuchado, te lo digo porque no le he trabajado ya directamente como usuaria, pero sí sé de un cliente que me hace la transferencia a su cuenta por medio, creo, de una aplicación que utilizan allá. Vinculan el producto. Ya en eso tienen que relacionarse ya directamente con ellos, pero si vinculan el producto, me parece que la cuenta o la tarjeta de débito, a través de esa aplicación pueden recibir la transferencia.
Pero no es algo que Banco Santa Cruz hace.
Santa Cruz, exactamente.
Okay, so Santa Cruz does not do that type of link, but supposedly there are apps or services that allow you to do it, and it's instantaneous, and it's, it's more cost effective because she's heard it. But Santa Cruz currently is not doing it. It's not making it possible. She's heard of it, but it's not something that Banco Santa Cruz sponsors or provides, or it has nothing to do with them. It's just like, for example, Zoom. Zoom, you can, link your account here and your bank card, and you can make instant transfers at low cost. I've used Zoom, to bring money from the States over here and to pay utilities and things like that. But Santa Cruz directly does not create those links. And for reasons we won't get into right now, that serves to protect you. Might not want to push for that. Oh, I'm lost.
Yes. Do you have a product for to purchase land only? And if so, do you gain clear title of that land purchase?
¿Ustedes tienen algún tipo de producto que es específicamente para la compra de terrenos? O sea, no de inmuebles, o sea, condominios, sino solares.
También.
¿Tienen productos?
Claro que sí.
Yes, they do. Go to their table. All right.
El teléfono me manda la información.
Okay, who am I missing? Oh, I'm sorry. I'll be right with you.
Good afternoon. My question is, how steady is the mortgage interest bank? ¿Qué tan estable es el interés para una hipoteca? ¿Cambia con el tiempo o es fijo?
La tasa del certificado, la tasa de...
So let me just traducir. She wants to know how stable are the interest rates. How long do you have? Because sometimes it happens that you get a loan for a good interest rate, but that may vary. So I know the answer to that question, pero...
La tasa que tenemos actualmente va desde un 9 hasta un 13, dependiendo de la fijación. Se puede fijar desde desde un año, 24 meses, 36 meses.
Ahora, la tasa depende
de la fijación, del plazo.
Del plazo, ok.
La fijación que desee. Ahora bien, luego si por ejemplo desea la tasa fija, vamos a suponer a 5 años, ¿y qué pasa después de esos 5 años? Que me imagino que por ahí viene su pregunta. Dependiendo de la vinculación que ya tenga el cliente con nosotros, o se puede mantener, o si varía un punto y medio. Tratamos de mantener el margen por el tipo de producto que se está obteniendo, que el hipotecario no es lo mismo quizá de consumo, para entonces tener la vinculación y que continúe la negociación.
Una pregunta, entonces, por ejemplo, en otros bancos, I'm going to translate a minute, this is just a question I'm throwing out there. En otros bancos, por ejemplo, ellos le aprueban una tasa, pero puede variar después del año. ¿Eso sucede con Santa Cruz? ¿O ustedes mantienen la misma tasa durante la vida del préstamo?
Durante el plazo que se negoció.
Excelente. Very good. Okay. So Santa Cruz is very good in this respect as well, guys, because they're going to keep the same interest rate that you negotiated in the beginning. So if we went in at 9%, over 10 years, for 10 years, you're guaranteed that 9%, okay? Now, if after 10 years you want to refinance, it may vary by 1 or 1.5%. So that's actually pretty good because other banks only guarantee the interest rate for 1 year. And then after that, it's adjustable. And the adjustable, you see how she says 9 to 13? You start with 9 and guaranteed you're going to end up with 13. So that's another thing that, bodes in their favor.
Realmente la de 9 es fija por un año. Después del año puede variar a más. Pero no es que si está el 9 se la van a poner de inmediato el 13.
Por ejemplo, después del año varía el 9, pero entonces ya lo que se fije después del año se mantiene durante la vida o la duración del préstamo.
No, va a depender del mercado.
Okay.
Va a depender, pero uno trata de mantener el margen, no es que si está el 9 se lo van a llevar de repente un 20. O sea, uno trata de mantener la vinculación del mercado.
Okay, so they'll give you a range.
Nosotros no somos un banco tasero como seguramente lo dicen, sino tratamos de mantener esa.
So they'll give you a range and try to stay with that range. If there's a change in the market where they have to vary the interest rate, and this happened with COVID, I mean, the interest rates on CDs in COVID were impacted heavily, and that's something that was outside of their control. So what they try to do is maintain it within that margin, okay? So you're not going to go from 9 to 20%. It's going to vary between 9 and 13%. And only if there are circumstances, that would impact the market greatly. Like, for example, COVID, okay? We're good? All right, folks. Señoras, gracias. Muchísimas gracias. We want to thank them, huh? How good were they? Excellent. Yeah, you didn't clap like that for anybody else.